From the bizarre Lagoon Desert of Brazil to the mystical Nazca lines, these are 11 strangest desert locations in the world. Strange abandoned ships. Location: the Aral Sea in Kazakhstan. It is strange to see rusting ships in the middle of the desert. Many people might think that this is just an isolated problem or a quirky art piece. But the tragic cause of this desolate landscape is the disappearance of the Aral Sea. The name translates to the Sea of Islands because of the hundreds of small islands that could have been seen at one point when the water levels were normal. These striking satellite images of the area really show the drastic change of the region in the span of only 10 years. Currently, the sea has retained about 10% of its original size, and the event has been described as one of the world's worst environmental disasters. There are ongoing efforts to replenish the desert, but they might prove futile. The hundreds of abandoned ships that litter the desert landscape were once part of the bustling fishing industry. They will probably stay in their positions for many years to come as a constant reminder of what used to be. Number 10. Lençóis Maranhenses. Location: Brazil. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is not a mirage. The beautiful landscape of this region is deceitful to say the least. Even though it looks like a desert, Lençóis Maranhenses is not classified as one, since it has regular rainy seasons. Since the 80s, the region has become a national park of Brazil and has cultivated a strange business for fishing. Since the lagoons connect to nearby rivers in the rainy season, they get filled up with fish, and certain species, like the wolffish, actually hang around the muddy lagoons all year round, patiently waiting for their prey. This is one of the most surreal places in Brazil, especially when you see the grandiosity of it from the air. We're not talking about a few ponds here and there. The horizon is filled with hundreds of pockets of water, surrounded by white dunes. Number 9. The Mabini Silent Zone. Location: Mexico. Our generation can hardly stay off our phones for more than an hour. The constant buzzing and beeping of notifications light our eyes up like never before. We have grown so accustomed to broad internet and cell service that we expect it to be everywhere. Driving through the Mabini Silent Zone in Mexico? Tough luck. No service here. Now, it begs the question, is this an elaborate urban legend, or is something really strange going on there? The story goes that during the 70s, the US government was doing a missile launch test that accidentally landed in the area. Ever since then, it is rumored that the radio signals and any type of communication cannot penetrate the area. Well, it was a good story, until some skeptics started testing the theory. Turns out, communication was possible. But the local guides claim that the dead zone shifts and is never in the same place. What do you think is going on around here? An elaborate hoax? Or did the missile test mess up this area for good? Number 8. Farafra. Location: Egypt. Is that a snowy desert landscape? Not that that's impossible, because here are some pictures of a snowy desert landscape, but this part of the Sahara Desert is actually named the White Desert. The whiteness comes from the chalk rock formations in the region. It is a pretty bizarre sight from afar, and from up close, you can notice the beautiful ventifacts propped up around the area. Some of them are extremely intricate and surprisingly big. Number 7. Antarctica. Location? Let me think. Alright, let's get this right. Antarctica is definitely considered a desert because of the minimal rain or snow on the continent, the exact numbers being less than 2 inches of precipitation yearly. So, is it the biggest desert? Yeah, definitely, by a long shot. Just for comparison, the total area of the Sahara Desert is around 3.3 million square miles. Antarctica has it beat by 2 million square miles, totaling 5.5 million square miles. This is probably the last frontier on Earth apart from, the deepest depths of the deepest oceans. Honestly, apart from extremely accelerated global warming, chances are we will never inhabit this continent. Plus, with all these stories about crashed alien ships and secret underground bases there, do we really want to push our luck? Number 6. Death Valley. Location: California. Death Valley is one of the most alien places on Earth. It is the lowest point of elevation in North America and one of the hottest parts of the world. The record high temperature in the area is 134 degrees Fahrenheit. The most infamous part of this valley has to be the mysterious sailing stones on the so-called racetrack playa. Due to the extreme weather changes in the region, tiny shifting ice sheets would form on the valley floor and shove the rocks at speeds reaching 16 feet per minute. Even though Death Valley is a national park, people often do not come prepared. There have been quite a few cases of disappearances and untimely deaths in the region. This brings me to another cool topic that we could look at: the mysterious disappearances around national parks. Number 5. The DavisMonthan Air Force Boneyard. Location: Arizona. Have you ever wondered what the US government does with all their decommissioned planes? Some of them actually end up in the middle of Arizona. This is one of the biggest boneyards of its kind, and you have to take an aerial look to really appreciate the grandiosity of it all. The area was chosen because of its hospitable climate, and actually the planes are not completely scrapped. Some will never fly again, but some will once again take to the skies as recycled parts in newer, cooler planes, but still. Number 4. Salar de Uni. Location: Bolivia. Salar de Uni is part of the Bolivian high deserts, and it's the largest salt flat in the world. None of these images are photoshopped. This is exactly how big this place actually is. Whenever the flats get a little rain, the place turns into a giant mirror. Since the water does not seep through the salt easily, it makes for some extraordinary, out-of-this-world photo ops. There is also minimal light pollution in the area, which opens up the night sky like none other. All in all, Salar de Uni is one of the most breathtaking places in South America. You just gotta get there first. Number 3. Location: Arizona. If you have ever driven through Flagstaff, Arizona, you might have noticed the roadside billboards. For the best crater in the world, you just have to drive 10 miles off the freeway, follow these signs for about another 30 minutes, watch out for cattle, and then experience the whoa factor of this huge crater. It really is one of the best in the world, and it is so well defined because it's relatively new. It was created about 50,000 years ago. NASA actually used the location to prepare astronauts for the Apollo missions to the moon. Unfortunately, the area is not public property. There is a charge to get in. Number 2. Mano del Desierto. Location: Chile and Uruguay. The Hand of the Desert in the Atacama Desert of Chile is one of the most unsettling locations there, especially if you had no idea you could stumble across a giant hand sticking out of the desert floor. The hand was constructed by a Chilean sculptor who did this piece on the beaches of Uruguay. He wanted to show emotions like sorrow, loneliness, and torture by using the human figure. I think he nailed it. For some reason, people like to graffiti the desolate sculpture, which many visitors think is just plain rude. Before we jump into number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Thanks for all the wonderful comments on the recent videos, guys. Watch out, you might be featured next. We have the Salton Sea, a giant failure of the agricultural system in California. The Salton Sea was once a promising tourist destination. Nowadays, it's filled with salinated water, dead fish, and surrounded with abandoned buildings. We also have the Desert Breath, a magnificent sculpture located in Egypt. This one is eroding away naturally, not much can be done about it. And finally, I give you the Lonely Tree in Tenere. It was once considered the most isolated tree on Earth. It had survived the impossible, only to be knocked down by a drunk driver. Number 1. The Nazca Lines. Location: Peru. The Nazca Desert is home of the Nazca people who designed and built the famous Nazca lines. There are hundreds of geoglyphs in the area. Some are simple geometric lines, and some are intricate zoomorphic designs of local animals. It is always said that the Nazca lines can only be seen from the air, which begs the question, why were they built in the first place? As it turns out though, that is just a common myth. There are plenty of hills surrounding the locations, making the sculptures visible from the ground. This should not remove any of the grandiosity and mysticity of the site. No one has still conclusively figured out why these geoglyphs exist. What do you think? Landing instructions for ancient aliens? or just a bunch of bored people in the high deserts of Peru. We're only getting started. Check out this awesome video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to learn about more awesome places and things.